He couldn't finish his sentences.
They thought I had a stroke, and after that they said, you know, you're fine.
In fact, when he went down to have his follow-up MRI, we had determined I didn't need to be there. He called me at 11 in the morning and said, Rob, come on down. I have been diagnosed with a tumor. It's not completely clear there's a tumor there, but they think that it's shrunk a little bit.
We came back from a magnificent trip to Costa Rica with our girls and had a seizure. 2 days later, told it was a tumor, and it was taken out, and we were told I've got a year and a half.
But that was 3 years ago, so.
3 years ago. Dr. Peterson got me right into the trial at Duke University, and it was highly successful. And when it came back a few months ago, went back on that trial again, a little variation of it, and that melted the recurrent tumor away.
In the summer before my 7th grade year, I'd experienced some swishing sounds in my ears. So we went to the doctor and they said that you need an MRI done.
Because of its location, they felt they needed to leave it in, or it was too invasive.
I still have my brain tumor today. It's still about the same size and it hasn't shrunk much, but the last time I had gone on my visit, they had said that it looked weaker and not as bright. So that is good signs.
Mitch worked at MnDOT for quite a few years.
He got married and had a baby, and then he had built a new house and had moved, started his new job at Hennepin County, and his first week at his job, he called Mom to give her his new phone number and started talking in garbled language for about 30 seconds. And when he came out of it, he said, Mom, I wasn't doing that on purpose. And she said, get off the phone and call 911. Then we found out it was a grade 3 astrocytoma. They were able to get all of the tumor out at that time. So he was good for about a year with no treatment.
And then shortly after that, found out that they were having another baby. And then shortly after that, he was re-diagnosed.
It was a grade 4 glioblastoma the second time, and it had crossed the lobes, so it was in both lobes, and then it had tentacles as well.
It was October of 2005 was the first diagnosis, and then he passed away in March of 2008.
One thing he said to me once is that, and this disease that I have is just like any chronic illness that anybody might have, and that's just the way it is. So he said, I will live with it as long as I can live with it.
I think attitude is one of the most important things that you can have in life. So being happy and smiling is just a general thing for me.
Did my outlook change? Yes, in some ways, because some things just don't matter anymore. I don't care. Other things matter a lot.
I grieved. I grieved heartily over the loss of my career, but it most certainly has enhanced the intensity of life. I now am blessed with time with my beloved wife and my family, my daughters, and that helps. That helps a lot.
I actually feel pretty good right now, really good, but I know I'm not the same, and you just have to get past that. Just got to look and see what is it that you can do today and get on with life.
Well, this year I was just newly elected the president of National Honor Society, and I play tennis, and that's always been a passion for me. I'm the captain of mock trial for the past few years, president of history club. I'm also on student government. I never know what to do with my time if I'm sitting at home. I just feel like I'm wasting it, and I don't want to waste my time.
Things can often get defined by an illness, but you're not just your illness. You're something so much more, and Jim continues to be something so much more than his illness.
Cancer sucks. I mean, simply put, it really sucks. But at the same time, it can be a great gift. We feel very lucky to have been able to embrace this illness together as a family.
I would never do this without Robbie. And my oldest daughter moved home from her job in New York City.
I think it forces you to reevaluate what's important. And what we've realized as a family is that the most important thing is to be together.
Elmo has been a great support, always wanting to cuddle, always jumping on the bed when he's trying to rest.
We have a lot of different components that I think are happy and healthy and allow us to have a positive attitude.
Hearing so much more, people just willingly saying, I love you, and showing it.
Everybody in my family is so supportive of me, and I also have that core group of friends that I can always go and talk to.
It definitely wears on you, but we've all worked as hard as we can as a family to get through it.
When he was really sick, what he mostly wanted was people to just be there and be with him. I would always bring my young daughter at the time, Sophie, and she would crawl right up in bed and she would watch cartoons with him, and you know, she'd always ask him for a tickly kiss from his goatee, and that's one of the things to this day she still remembers about him. She misses Uncle Mitch's tickly kisses.
There are these blessings, that deeper spirituality, that greater connection with the people around you, and that means a great deal to have family and friends who just are there for you.
The many advantages of having a malignant brain tumor. Let me count the ways. You know, for instance, I have carte blanche to really do or say anything.
They took out 10% of the brain, and whenever someone would ask me a question that I couldn't answer, I'd say, that was the 10% that's been taken out. Well, it may be true. You know, so.
You can't beat this haircut, right?
My family came down and said, it's like a comedy routine coming down here. She's cracking jokes. She's like, hey, come on in and take a picture. And you were heavily medicated.
For good reason.
Yes. He was obsessed with Transformers. He had in his office at his home shelves from floor to ceiling on 3 of the 4 walls, and they were all full of Transformers.
I called to check up on him and I said, what are you doing? And he said, I just went to Target and I bought a bunch of Transformers, and now I just went through the Taco Bell drive-thru and there's nothing better. I said, geez, gross, Taco Bell. And he said, yeah, I love Taco Bell. And he just was having the best day. So.
Oh,
Yeah. We had my relatives come on down to Rochester and go in the radiation room with me.
After chemotherapy, the hair came back black and curly, 25 pounds lighter. And I thought, well, I could market this, the California chemo diet.
We went to a concert and she did wear her wig to that, and she got hot in the middle of the concert. She just took that wig and whipped it off, and everybody's looking at her, and she didn't care. She's like, it's too hot, forget about it.
Mitch participated in every possible study that you could participate in. He was involved in support groups. He wanted to get the word out that you can live a beautiful life, even though you're sick.
I'd like to give this thing 5 more years, maybe 10.
20, 25 years.
He wouldn't be alive were it not for the kind of chemotherapy that there's available now. And I just think it's so important to do that. Continue that research. It's what gives all of us hope.
Well, I hope to go to college and eventually become a doctor someday.
As a parent, my hope would be for her to go and have a great time and excel, because that's what you want as a parent, and what she's all been through, how great that is that she's healthy enough to be able to experience it.
The kids have asked me what Uncle Mitch gets to do in heaven. And I always ask them, well, what do you think he gets to do? And her response is, I bet he gets to eat all the candy he wants, stay up all night, and I bet he never gets a bellyache. Hopefully he is eating candy, and watch James Bond, because that's another thing that he loved, and play with Transformers, and that he gets to go sit next to his kids and be with them in the way that he wants to.
I hope to die of old age in that bed right up there, surrounded by my loving family and friends. But not for a long, long time.